Hello, bears. So since this is your review for your quiz, I thought I'd go ahead and just kind of run through the answers with you guys, just so you know kind of if you are on the right track or not, and also in case you guys have questions, this is just another fast stop, so you guys can be good. I always, like we did last week, I like to use tables for these, so I'm going to go ahead and just provide a table for all of them. I'll still go through kind of what the answer is, but just so you guys kind of know how you should set up your work in the future. So if we have this package of party favors costing us $6.15, the cost of one party favor is going to be one amount. So again, we always look for that question, what are they asking us? So I want to know if I have one favor. I do not know the cost, so that's our unknown. We go back at the top, look at our rate, what matches that. We know we went from 50 favors down to 1. And I also know I started with $6.15. So for this way, again, we can always kind of figure out multiple ways to solve these problems. But I'm just going to go ahead and just know that I go from 50 down to 1. So I divided this side by 50. So I need to take $6.15, also divide that by 50 if I take $6.15. So if I divide those, I end up with 0.123. Said round to the nearest hundredth. That's my second place. So this 3 is going to cause it to stay at 2. So we're just going to say they're about 12 cents each. All right, question 2. So same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and just start with the table. So again, I'm looking at this question. How many cups of flour? So I want to know my cups of flour, and I'm going to make 1 cake. So I'm going to go back to that first sentence, read my rate. I started with 3 over 2 cups, or 13 over 2, sorry, and I made 5 cakes. So again, to go from this 5 down to 1, I know I divided that by 5. Anything divided by itself gives me 1. So I need to take 13 over 2 and divide that by 5. And I'm actually going to add another text box in here just to show you guys what I'm doing. So if I have 13 over 2 divided by 5, remember our division sign is that slash mark. So in order to divide by 5, when we are dividing fractions, you guys should always in your head say keep, switch, flip. So I'm going to keep this, switch to multiply, and in order to flip that, I need to turn 5 into a fraction. 5 as a fraction is just 5 over 1. So if we flip that, I end up with times 1/5. Sorry, I made that small. So again, when we multiply our fractions, we just multiply straight across. I have a numerator of 13, numerator of 1. So 13 times 1 is just 13. If I look at my denominators, 2 times 5 is 10. So we would be left with 13 over 10 cups. And it said written as an improper fraction, so we are good to go. We don't need to do anything else. Question 4, it says approximately how long would it take a jet to travel 350 miles at a rate of 120 miles an hour? So this one is a little different just because we're not looking for our unit rate on this one. They already gave that to us. But still, we're going to look for, okay, what question are they asking? How long would it take us to travel 350 miles? So if I go 350 miles, I want to know how many hours that is going to take. And still, we're looking at the rate that they give us. So we know we've already gone 120 miles. And that took 1 hour. All right, so if I look over here, I know that 1 times 120 is going to give me the multiplication for this side. So I need to do the same thing on this side. So I need a number times 120. That is going to give me 350. If we take 350 divided by 120, I'm left with 2.9166 repeating. So I am just going to round that to 2.92, and we can leave that as that. All right, next question. We have a rainbow fish. He can swim 50 feet in 5 seconds. An angelfish is swimming 45 feet in 2 seconds. Which fish is faster and by how much. So I'm actually going to need two tables on this problem. So we are dealing with two different fish. So if we start with this rainbow fish up at the top, we know he is swimming 50 feet in 5 seconds. I want to know in 1 second, how far is he traveling? So again, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 50 divided by 5 to keep them equal. He goes 10 feet a second. And this again is the rainbow, so we don't forget that. Same thing with our angelfish. He's doing 45 in 2. Sorry, I'm skipping my units. So again, if I take 2 divided by 2 is 1. 45 divided by 2 is going to give us a decimal. We end up with 22.5 feet. So which fish is faster per second? We would say that our rainbow fish is We would say that our angelfish is faster. He is swimming more per second, and he is faster by about 12.5 feet. So make sure if it's asking 2 parts, we need to say, okay, our angelfish is faster, and he's faster. We would take this answer, subtract it by this one. That's 12.5 feet. Okay, question 6. 1/3 of gasoline will get Josh 1/3 of the way to his 1/5 of the way to his grandmother's. How many gallons of gasoline does it take to get to her house? So I want to go all the way to Grandma's house. So I need to get there. That is a 1 hole. And I need to figure out how many gallons of gas I need. So X gallons, 1 journey or 1 trip. So we know he went 1/5 and he has 1/3 of a gasoline. So we need to figure out what I am multiplying this 1/5 by in order to get over here at 1. I'm going to go ahead and change my 1 to 5/5 just so I can see that a little bit easier. So I know 1/5 times 5 will give me that 5/5. So I need to do 1/3 times 5. Again, we're going to change that times 5 over 1. So 1/3 times 5 over 1 is going to get us 5 over 3 gallons. We can leave it just like that. All right, next question. If someone can paint 1/5 of a wall in 20 minutes, how long does it take to paint a room with 3 walls? So if we think of this room, it's just going to be a triangle, but there's actually 2 parts we need to do for this question. Because if I take this as normal and go, okay, I'm going to do 3 walls in 1/5 in 20 minutes. So if I have 3 walls, 1/5 of a wall takes 20 minutes. I'm looking for how many minutes? All right, so for this problem, I'm actually going to go ahead and cross multiply and divide. So if I have 20 minutes times 3, 20 times 3 is going to give me 60. 60 divided by 1/5 if we are dividing by fractions, and I'm going to write this out for you guys. Remember, it is keep, switch, flip. So if I have 60 divided by 1/5, I'm actually going to turn that into 60 over 1. Keep, switch, flip. And that gives us a fraction of 60 times 5 is 300. So we'd actually have 300 over 1. So it is going to take us 300 minutes in order to solve or paint all 3 walls. Just remember this one was different. It was not a unit rate question. For our question, it said how long is it going to take to do 3 walls. So if you have 3 walls, just make sure you guys set up your rate correctly. All right, slide 8. Again, we have 2 different costs per pound. So if I look at my tables, we're going to do 2 different things again, just like we did with our fish earlier. All right, so if I'm looking for my cost per pound, I know I have 1 pound on both of these. So this one was 2 pounds. It cost $8.98. This one had half a pound. That cost me $3.98. All right, so if we look at this one, we go from 2 down to 1. That means we're dividing by 2. If I take $8.98 divided by 2, I know that is going to be $4.49. So that one was $4.49 per pound. That is our 2 pounder. So we started with 2 pounds. And same thing for the second one, except this one we went from 1/2 to 1 pound. We're getting bigger. We are multiplying over here. So I'm going to do $3.98 times 2. And that gave us $7.96 per pound. All right, we still have not answered our question though. What is the difference in cost per pound? Difference means I'm going to be subtracting. So I'm going to take my $7.96, subtract $4.49, and the difference is $3.47. All right, slide number 9. All right, we are making some salsa. Our recipe calls for 1/3 cup tomato sauce for every 6 cup of cilantro. If I'm using 1 whole cilantro, how much tomato sauce do I need to make? All right, so again, we're looking at that question. So if I use 1 cup cilantro, how much tomato sauce? So that is our unknown. So we look up here, what was our rate given to us? We have 1/6. And we have 2 1/3 tomato, if I could spell. All right, so we need to figure out again. Okay, I took 1/6, multiplied it by 6 in order to get 1 cup. So to keep these equal, I need to do 2 1/3 also times 6. I think it is a lot easier if I convert this into an improper fraction. So 2 times 3 plus 1 is 7/3. So if I do 7/3 times 6/1, that is 42/3. All right, and if we look at that fraction, 42 divided by 3 is just 14 cups of tomato. That is a lot of tomato sauce in order to get this good salsa. All right, 2 more. So this one is looking at a unit rate. So I know that other painting one was not, but this one is. So if I am looking to how much paint is going to cover a whole wall, I'm painting a whole wall, how much paint do I need to know? That's what I'm looking for. So I do 1/8 of a wall, and it costs me 1/4 of a gallon of paint. 1/8 times 8 is going to give us that 1 value, or 8/8. So if I do 1/4 times 8, that gives me 8/4. 8 divided by 4 can be simplified just into 2 gallons of paint. All right, and our last one. So if 1/5 of a pizza can feed 1 person, how many pizzas do we need to buy if there are 6 members? So if I have 6 members and I want to know how much pizza I need, I started with 1/5 of a pizza. I had 1 member. So 1 times 6 is 6. So we know that this way is times 6. We need to do the same thing to our top. 1/5 times 6 is just 6/5. Cannot buy a fraction of a pizza, but we know that this is over 1 and less than 2. If we made that into a mixed number, it's actually 1 1/5 pizza. So we know we would need to order 2 whole pizzas in order to feed everybody. All right, so if you made it this far, that was all of your answers to your review questions. If you guys still need help on any of that, please let me know. You guys do have a quiz tomorrow. There were 10 questions today. There are 10 questions on your quiz tomorrow. You can take that info as you will. Other than that, thank you guys for working through those. If you have questions, please let us know, and good luck on your quiz tomorrow.